It's August. Can you believe it? August already. Well, I guess since it's August, it's maybe time for an update. How's the garden done this year? Hey folks, Eli at Bee in the garden as usual, and I figured since it's August now, can't believe it's August already, it's time for a bit of an update. What's been happening in the garden? What's good, what's bad, proper update, hopefully one that won't go wrong this time. So I can actually let you see things. I thought we'd start over here with the beds for two reasons. One of the big things that happened this year was these new nets that we put on the beds. This was a big deal because I'd had all sorts of different types of nets before that drove me insane. They just kept falling over, or they weren't high enough, or just too difficult to get into the beds. So these nets have been brilliant this year. Really chuffed with this update. And as always, I'll do you a link to the video up here if you want to go and see us putting these together and hear our review of what it was like to put them together. But these have made life so much easier. So, second reason I wanted to talk about the beds is this. Basically, the fact that there's stuff in them. This year, we started off with the most horrendous spring. It was wet, it was dark, it was cold, it was just horrible. And I didn't get the chance to get things started off the way I normally would. To give you an idea, this bed is my carrots and beetroot. Until about a month ago, there was one carrot and one beetroot in this bed. I planted it up as normal, but that's all that took. Hello, you can't be in the video. But that's all that took. So what I had to do to get round that was, once the weather had picked up, I planted some carrots and some beetroot in little root trainers in the greenhouse. And now I have some carrots and beetroot. Not as many as normal, but at least I have some. So that's pretty much how this year started. Seeds just didn't take, everything just didn't take. The tomatoes and the peppers and things in the greenhouse just didn't propagate. And I ended up out here with a very, very bare and empty garden. So that's another thing that happened this year. For a big learning curve for me, really, I ordered plants online. I felt a bit guilty about it at first because I've always grown from seed. But then I thought, well, no, I'm still growing produce and things in the garden. It didn't take from seed this year, there's nothing I can do about it. So the option was to either have a whole year where I had nothing, or to just get some stuff online that's been started off down south where it was much warmer, and then just bring it on here. So, courgettes, doing fabulous. This is also the first time I've grown courgettes outdoors. Normally we put them in the greenhouse and I don't bring them out until they've possibly got one or two fruit on them. So that's usually kind of end of June. And I have them in big pots. This year I thought, just as an experiment, couple in the beds, doing great. I don't know if you can see from there, but I've got some baseball bat sized courgettes going, so that's great. Also, what else? Oh yeah, fruit. This year's the first time we've grown blackcurrants, redcurrants and blueberries. So how's that been going? Well, I've already had a big bunch of red currants off this, and they're tasty and awesome and great in porridge and smoothies and just me eating them when I'm in the garden. Hurrah for red currants. Black currants, boo, not so good. I didn't get a lot of fruit on it, but what I did get, the birds have eaten, so I haven't had the chance to eat any black currants. First year though, we'll see how it goes. Also, blueberries. Blueberries, looking good. Nothing's ripe yet, but I've got a fair few. Again, first year, wasn't expecting anything. So, hurrah for blueberries, fingers crossed. The garden in general, yeah, like I say, bit of a rubbish start to the year, but it's catching up. As of this morning, my first sunflower head's out. As you can see, I've got two that are doing okay and the others not so much. But to be fair, we've had the last 5 weeks of sun have been immense, but before that we had nothing. So I'm happy with this. One thing, talking about the weather, the last 5 weeks have been absolutely gorgeous. There's no denying it. but that has meant it's been really hard going keeping on top of the lawn and the pots and the baskets. So we have had to actually replace the hanging baskets once already because we just couldn't keep on top and stuff died. The lawn is now looking amazing and lush and green, but I'm out here every single day with the sprinklers. It is hard going, but also if you watched the last video, I told you about I killed the lawn. I got a bit overeager with the feed because I'm having to water it and feed it like all the time now because of the weather, but I kind of fed too much and I burnt patches. So it's been my penance that I've been out raking and feeding and watering and reseeding and all of that kind of stuff. But the lawn's starting to look great, so happy with that. The other thing you might have noticed, the bed at the back. I don't know if you've ever noticed it when it's just been in videos and stuff, but this year we stripped it out quite a bit because it used to be full of shrubbery type stuff, but it was just getting crazy and overgrown. So we've cleared that out and we've left quite a bit of space. We've got a little Acer in there and stuff. That's coming on, quite happy with that. What else? Oh yeah, I was going to take you in the greenhouse, but last year we grew cornichon de Paris in the greenhouse and they took over. They were mental, they were scary. Tried growing outside for the first time this year. They seem to be happy enough. Some little fruit. We'll see how it goes. When they were in the greenhouse, they put out these tendrils everywhere and they were just clinging on to like my brush and stuff in the greenhouse, and it was a bit freaky. Not so much of that out here, so I've actually had to tie them up. But fingers crossed. Shall we take a look in the greenhouse? Greenhouse! Okay, two big things for the greenhouse this year. Number one, we raised the height of the greenhouse. And again, there's a video and a blog post and all that kind of stuff about it, so I'll link. But basically, with the quadgrows, they lift the height of all the plants about 2 foot off the floor. So I was finding they were hitting the roof of the greenhouse and then coming back down on and everything. So we actually raised the greenhouse about maybe 2.5 feet off the floor, which means there's a massive step for me to get in because I'm only small, but it has really made it so much better. Everything's got room to grow now. The other thing, not such a positive, we had some really bad storms. Anyone in the UK knows this year I think it is the first year we've started naming storms. So yeah, we had a storm, I think it was Gertrude or whatever, and she tore the window out of the greenhouse, and I mean tore, ripped the metal frame, actually shredded it, tore the bolts out, trashed the window. So I've managed to get it back into place and seal it down with tape, but it's not a working window anymore, and it does leak, which is really annoying. But it means I'm having to leave the door open all the time for ventilation, which is not helping with pests. So that leads me nicely onto peppers. So again, second year growing peppers in the greenhouse in the quadgrows. And last year I was speaking to you guys and saying I would try a couple of things. So I was asked about growing them, why I grow them in the quadgrows and not the chili grows. I tried some in the chili grows this year and I found that they just weren't producing as much. I don't know if you can see it from here. Yeah, this wee one that's fallen over. This is one of the peppers that I've grown in there, and the fruits are smaller. The whole plant itself is just so much smaller. But I've also done my usual and I've got a couple going in the quadgrows as well. So I've got these ones here. And the fruits on them are much, much better, much bigger. The plants aren't huge, but again, these aren't my plants that I've grown. I had to buy these. So I did manage. Last year I grew Arianes, which were amazing and gave me so many peppers. I couldn't get them online this year, but I managed to get the Mohawk, which I grew last year, and Bellboy, which I grew last year. They didn't give me as much in the way of peppers, but they're doing okay, so we'll see how they go. But also, this year for the first time, I'm growing Redskins. So Redskin F1s from 6444 Bears suggestion, because they said they had loads of success. So giving that a try, I've got to be honest, I'm not convinced, but I don't know if it's just been a bad year for it. I'm not getting loads of fruit, and the fruit I'm getting is not huge. So I'm going to keep going. I'm not just going to give up after 1 year. I'll try again next year. Tomatoes. Again, I normally grow all these from seed myself, so I couldn't get all my normal stuff online by the time I went to order it. So instead of the indigo blue cherries this year, I've got indigo rose, which are full-size tomatoes. They're just starting to ripen now. I'm not hugely excited by the flavour. The little indigo cherries, the flavour on them is immense, like explosion of flavour in your mouth. These are a bit, yeah, I could have bought them in Tesco. They've got that kind of taste to them. Also, disappointingly, I don't have any sweet millions, which I grow every year, and they give me so many tomatoes. So I've gutted at that. But for the first time, I'm growing garden type golden sunrise is this one, which is a full size yellow. I normally only grow the yellow cherries, and I don't know why I keep growing them because I never get many off it. Getting quite a lot of the golden sunrise, but this is the first time I've ever had tomatoes split since I got the quad grow. Just these ones, but these are all splitting. So a bit annoyed. I've also got Gardener's Delight, which is a standard in the UK. Everybody grows it. I'm getting loads of them. Again, see, compared to the little cherries I normally grow, I don't know if it's a difference between full-size tomatoes and cherries, but the flavour's just not as intense, so I'm a wee bit disappointed. The other biggie for this year was this. Quad Grow Plus. It's basically a quad grow. It's got the 4 pots and it's got this big trough in the centre that you can use for herbs and salad and stuff. Apart from the hilarity of me trying to unbox this and build it because the box that came in was bigger than me, it's been not too bad. The herbs are doing great. The basil loves it. The parsley's doing great. I've got some chilies and peppers and stuff in it just to see how it goes. And it's doing great. But 2 things. One, as always, we always grow too much salad and it bolts. So I need to learn to grow less of stuff. But the second thing is, it is thirsty as heck. I don't know why I said heck. Why did I feel I couldn't say hell there? That's not like me. And never mind. Thirsty as hell, heck, whatever you want to say. I'm having to actually fill this up with water twice a week, which is unusual. The other quad grows it's once a week. I think it's probably because of the big quaff. Oh, we're losing it. I'm just going to talk nonsense now. Because of the big trough in the centre, I think that's why it's going through the water. But really happy with it, and I'm using it actually. I've got herbs and stuff, but I'm using it for radishes. I'm growing them in the trough around the herbs, and they're coming up really fast and doing really. And I'm not watering from above; it's just like normal. So there's a wee thought for you with quad grows. I think you can grow some stuff actually in them. Ooh, idea for next year. That is the update for 2018. Yeah, that's it. There's no mad excitement, but it's just been that plodding away and trying to kind of get on with the year after the bad start and make the best of what we've got now. Okay, so hopefully your gardens are all doing brilliant and you're all out enjoying this nice weather. I'm going to start getting tidied up and getting some weeding done and some bits and bobs now. But I'll see you for the next time when maybe I'll be telling you about all the hundreds of tomatoes suddenly I got. See you guys!